Welcome back to our Premiere Pro tutorial series. Today we're going to be walking you through setting up a project in Premiere Pro, ensuring you're on the right foot to start your editing journey. Let's go ahead and open Premiere Pro. We're going to click this new project button up here at the top left. Now this is going to immediately pop up all the video files you could pull from that are on your. It's going to pull up everything, help you find what you're looking for. Now you should have a hard drive. And you should work from a hard drive. That's best practice. But if you're working from your desktop, right off your MacBook or PC, you should just be able to find your folder by going through some of these. The most common way is sitting it on your desktop and naming the folder, and then putting all your video files and assets in that folder so you can come back later and find it. So we're going to title this project New Project. And for fun, we're going to drag this old clip of me into the folder. I'm going to click create at the bottom right. Now this immediately pops up everything for you. Now before you do anything else, I would recommend going over here to your sequence, your program window. And there's going to be this little dialog box that says full or 1/2 or 1/4 or something along that nature. You're going to want to click this box and it's going to give you all of these options. So if you're at full and your computer is having a real hard time, it's heavy breathing, everything's slow, you can't even see what you're editing essentially, you should lower this to 1/2, see if that works. If not, go to 1/4 or go to 1/8. And what this does is it lowers your resolution preview. So it doesn't affect the overall outcome of the clip, but it does affect what you're seeing when you edit. This is helpful if you don't have a very strong computer or if you're editing very high-end footage. I usually run mine at full and it seems to do okay. Again, 1/2 is fine or anything else is fine. Now, if your computer's still having a hard time, it's not doing what you would like to do, it's slow, you're going to want to go up here, you're going to want to go to File, you're going to want to go down to Project Settings, and then you want to go over to Ingest Settings. Now, there's a few different tabs here. We're going to start off with the General tab. This gives you an option for your video rendering and playback. So mine is already set. I think I only have one option on here, but if you're working on a different computer, it'll give you a few different options you could choose from, such as GPU or CPU. I'm on a MacBook, one of the newer MacBooks, so I believe it only uses one option for this. But this is important to know because you could change this at any time if your computer is running slow or if it's just being wonky. Scratch disks I've never had to change. You could clear these if your Premiere Pro is acting a little weird. You can clear all of these and it should help out your system. But other than that, you could ignore the rest of these projects. Okay, so we're going to click OK at the bottom. Now let's scrub through this project. So how do you scrub through a project in Premiere Pro? There's this blue icon. To get a better understanding, I'm going to zoom in. You could either grab this bar and make it shorter to zoom in. And let's scrub through these first few seconds, or first minute if we will. So this little blue line is your scrubber. This is your playhead. So this is how you scrub through clip, find where and when you would like to stop. In addition, it could help you when you would like to cut. So let's go over here to the left where these tools are. This is the razor tool, is what you use to cut. It's also C on the keyboard. And say I want to cut right here at this moment. My playhead is right here. I'm going to cut and it'll cut right there in that exact moment. So it's important to know. I didn't want to do that, so I'm going to Command Z or Control Z if you're on Windows. And I'm going to continue scrubbing. And this is how you scrub through clips to see where you want to stop. Say you're scrubbing too fast, you can't get the timing right of moving your mouse or moving the trackpad if you're on Mac. You're going to want to click anywhere in the clip and you're going to click your arrows. So we can go right 1 frame, or we can go right 3 frames, or 10. And this is more how you make precise editing movements. Say you're waiting for a specific moment, the blink of an eye, and you want to cut. This is what you would probably be doing. So let's do exactly that. Now, say I wanted to jump to the end of the clip, I would press the down arrow on the keypad and it would jump to the end. Now I want to jump to the beginning, press the up arrow. Now it's important to know it's going to jump to the end of the clip you are on. So if we have 2 clips here, let's cut here, and we press the down arrow, it's going to jump to the end of the clip we were just at and the start of the new clip. Let's press the down arrow again, jumps there. So hopefully you get that. I'm gonna Command Z. Now I'm gonna cut it right here where I blink. Cutting on a blink is more natural. And then I'm gonna find another blink right here. Now I'm gonna press V on the keyboard to bring out my select tool. You could also find it here at the top, selection tool, V on the keyboard. So I'm gonna select this middle clip because I don't want this part. I'm gonna click it, and I'm gonna click delete. Now it's gone forever. But if you wanted to bring it back, you could simply grab this edge and drag it back out, and it's back. We don't want to do that. I'm gonna press Command Z, and then there's this empty space. Now you could grab this ripple delete tool or B on the keyboard. I'm just gonna right click this empty space because this is essentially black video. Just empty space, there's nothing there, nothing of value. Click this empty space, right click, and we're gonna click ripple delete. Now if you're doing a lot of editing, you're gonna wanna map this to a keypad on your keyboard to make you fast and efficient. So ripple delete, gone. It is gone forever now. And this is essential because it's going to save you so much time from dragging the clip individually. Now let's keep on going. Now say I want to be able to see more of this video timeline. What we're going to do is right here on this video 1 track, we're going to click it, this little line right here, and drag it up. Now it's going to give us a larger preview of what we're doing. For this, it's not really essential because everything I've shot here looks the same. But say for audio, there was some magnificent audio sounds, and I want to know exactly when I say cut to cut the video. You could open this audio panel up the same way. Awesome, look at that. Now, there's a couple hidden menus here, so if you shorten this back up, this video 1 tab, you saw something disappear right there, right? So that's a keyframe. So if you want to drag this up, you could reveal the keyframes for the video, or you could reveal the keyframes for the audio. It's important to know once you get in more advanced topics, such as keyframing audio or video. So let's go ahead and zoom out. You're going to be doing this a lot, so let's get the hang of it. Grab this end here and zoom out. And this gives you the broader scope of things. This is useful for dragging another clip in, or say you just want to trim this entire clip because you don't need it anymore. Now for some reason, let's say I accidentally deleted a window. Close panel. How am I going to preview my video now? You're probably panicking, you don't know what to do. You're going to go up here to Window, go to Workspaces, and reset to saved layout. And now it reset everything how it was when you originally started. I'm going to drag this here so we have more of a preview. Now let's go ahead and delete these so our program window is empty. Now this left on the source window is for previewing and scrubbing. I tend not to use it unless I'm working on really large files. You could use it if it helps you. So you're going to double click your video in your project bin over here on the bottom left, and this gives you the preview, and you have the same exact thing as a playhead and source window. Now I prefer to see it just on one big screen, so I usually close this, but this is completely up to you, and this is your workflow. You could choose how you want to use this. So there's some important tools down here at the bottom. You could add a marker, so if there's a certain point in the video where I say a curse word or you want to cut, you could add that marker and it'll save for the video. More importantly, if you don't want to drag this, say, 2-hour long video onto your timeline, you could add an in and out point, which basically pre-cuts the video for you, and then you drag only the selected portion. And there are some more tools like pressing play, going frame by frame, or exporting a frame, which is my favorite for creating thumbnails or taking images into Photoshop and messing with them. Now, say I only wanted the video portion of this. I'm going to drag this little icon down. Now I only have the video. I'm going to Command Z because I didn't want the video. I just wanted the audio. So you're going to grab the audio, drag it over here, and there's only the audio. Now I take that back. I'm going to just drag the entire clip, the audio and video. Okay? Now I'm going to cut this up 5 times. I'm going to press V on the keyboard and delete the end portion. Now I have 5 clips. I want to delete this video, but I want to keep the audio. So let's go ahead and press delete on the keyboard. It deletes the video and audio. You don't want that. So I could have either dragged only the audio or video over, depending on what you wanted from the left-hand window, or I could press Command Z on the keyboard, select the clip, right click, scroll down, and there's this little thing that says unlink. So you want to press unlink, and now they're individual clips. So I can click on this bottom clip, delete the audio, or I could click on the top clip and delete the video. It's important to note because at some time or another you're going to want to do that. Now Command Z to bring that back. Now let's go ahead and delete this middle clip. If you want to select, say, multiple clips, you could click and drag to select 2 or 3 clips, and you could delete multiple at once. Now we're going to press Command Z. Say we wanted these clips to stick together at all times. We're going to select all of them, right click, we're going to press Group. Now whenever you move one, it moves them all, and it maintains the space if there's any space in between them. That is important to note because it's a useful tool. Now there's a bunch of dead space here, but we're going to leave that. Now say I like this dead space for some odd reason. I wanted to keep the video and the dead space. You are going to select them, right click, and you're going to click Nest. We're going to call this Nested Sequence 1 is fine. So what did that do? That basically took 3 clips and smashed them together into one clip. Now, I don't really do this unless I know I'm kind of done with this edit and I'm going to move on to something else such as color correction, color grading, or motion graphics. So I would save this for towards the end of your workflow, but it's important to know that you could do that. Now, we didn't want that, so we're going to press Command Z, 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 Command Z. Now we're all the way back to where we were earlier. Now you can only Command Z so many times. It only goes and saves so much of your history to Command Z back to. So that's important to note as well if you're trying to do something that was super long ago. Now this project is going good. We could press Command S on the keyboard and save this project. We go to File, Save As, and name your project. And it'll save in your Premiere Pro project folder. We're not going to do that. We're going to press Cancel. Instead, we're just going to export this clip. So we're going to go up here to the top left. It says Import, Edit, and Export. Now we're going to name this Sample. Sample 1. Now there's a bunch of different options here. The most widely used and accessible option for the format is H.264, so I recommend you leave it there. This preset, these are the bit rates, the resolution, the aspect ratio, whatever you want your videos to export at. So if you're putting your video up on a big TV screen and you shot it in 4K, you could click the 4K, or you could just click Match Source and it'll match your footage that is already there. This location is important because this is where your videos and files are going to go when you save them. Countless times people have lost their footage or lost their video when they save it. I do it all the time if you don't know where it's exporting to. Now, before we make our way down on this list, we're going to go over here to the right and we could preview our video before we finally output it. Now, same option, you could scrub through it with this little playhead marker. Now, it always gives you another option too. So this is the entire source option. But let's say you wanted to choose a different area to export. You could export just the beginning of your clip or the entire clip. That's completely up to you as well. Sometimes I use source in or source out. Other than that, I don't really touch this too much. There's other options here. You could zoom out if that helps you see it better. And you could also zoom on this timeline, in or out, wherever you would like to. Now, below this is going to be all of your settings. So it's going to give you your audio settings, what you're exporting at. This is a 4K video at 24 frames per second, and it gives you more options here. You shouldn't have to worry about this too much. All you need to know is what you're exporting at, 4K 1080, or your file size and the format of your video, which should be H.264 for the most part. That is all you need to know on the right hand side. Going back here to this video tab, this is where you could adjust your settings. So these are already checked because they're matching your source video. What you shot it at and what you imported in your video clip, they are matching that. And I'm just going to leave it alone, so it's my default size. Frame rate, choose the frame rate you shot it at. If you wanted it at a lower frame rate for some reason, choose the lower frame rate. It gives you a bunch of options here, all the way up to 300, which is pretty cool. This field order you don't really need to worry about too much. for the aspect either. Below here is render at maximum depth and use maximum render quality. I always check these boxes. For the most part, I find it makes my video cleaner when I export it. Now, for this encoding settings, you could choose hardware encoding or software encoding. Depending on your computer build, I would say hardware is usually the best way to go, but in some cases it may be software. So I would experiment with that. Use your hardware encoder and then software encoding and see which one works faster. We're going to keep going down this list to the more essentials. Now, here at bitrate settings, if I really care about this video and who's going to see it, I will choose 2pass, and I will probably choose something around 60 megabytes for my target bitrate. Now, VBR 1pass is perfectly fine as well. It's still going to come out clean. It's still going to look beautiful. Now, that is pretty much it for here. Let's go ahead and close this video tab. These other tabs you do not have to worry about. We will get in depth into those later, but we're going to go ahead and look through them. So this is the audio tab, what your audio rate is at, your audio format, and your bit rate of that audio. Multiplexer, captions, if you had captions, you could export them or import them as well. Effects, and then your metadata, you could change this if you wanted to. And then general, and there's nothing really crazy that I use other than these first 2 tabs for the most part. On the left is some destinations. You could publish directly to something if you would really want to. We're not going to do that. And I like where this video is at, except we're going to lower this to 40. And then we're just going to click export. And it'll export into your designed or your destination folder that you chose, usually a Premiere Pro folder. And it'll take a few seconds and then you're all done. You have a H.264, which is also MP4, the most widely used video. Now, I'm not going to let this export just because I didn't want it to. So I'm going to press cancel. And that is it. This is essential tools that you'll be using. One thing I forgot to mention is your audio is here on the right as well. So you can check your audio levels. There's no audio in this video, but if I had audio, I'll be able to see what it is peaking at and where my volume is. In addition, if I wanted to adjust that volume, I would go to the top right, click on panels, click audio, and I would adjust that volume here. Or if you wanted to, you could go back to the editing panel and adjust the volume by hand. Both work, depends what you want. And those are the most essential tools that you'll be using in your normal workflow. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Keep editing.